Hey, this is Sparrow Napier, and this is a new segment that I'd like to do called Poetry Corner. So, without further ado, let's dive into Ozymandias by Percy Shelley.
I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that its sculptor well those passions read which yet survive, stamped on these lifeless things. The hand that mocked them, and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear. My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level sands stretch far away."
Okay, now what the heck does that mean? Now, the poem was actually written in a friendly competition with his friend and fellow poet Horace Smith. Not like Horse Smith, like making a horse. Okay, bad joke. Within that friendly competition, they actually both submitted a sonnet called Ozymandias to a publication at the time called The Examiner. So let's take a look at Horace's. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. No more horse puns.
In Egypt's sandy silence, all alone, stands a gigantic leg which far off throws the only shadow that the desert knows. I am great Ozymandias, saith the stone, King of Kings. This mighty city shows the wonders of my hand. The city's gone. Not but for the leg remaining to disclose the site of this forgotten Babylon. We wonder, and some hunter may express wonder like ours, where through the wilderness where London stood, holding the wolf in chance, he meets some fragment huge and stops to guess what powerful but unrecorded race once dwelt in that annihilated place.
Alright, now who the heck is Ozymandias? Ozymandias is actually just the Greek name for the Egyptian pharaoh Ramses II. But this theme can actually apply to a lot of historical figures. Basically, I think what the story's trying to get at is that anything built by the hands of man is still subject to the wrath of time. You're never too big to be forgotten. In the pursuit of an everlasting, grandiose self-image, these great figures often lose sight of how they're treating those around them, seeing themselves as worthy and deserving of this pseudo-immortality and others as just tools to get there. This pursuit by its very nature is often self-defeating. Let's take a look at some of the descriptors from the poems that really underline this point. So what does this traveler from a faraway land have to tell our narrator about this mighty king and his vast empire? Well, he remembers that once when he was in the desert, he saw these two giant legs of stone, and next to it, in a pile of rubble, kind of half buried by sand, he saw a shattered visage. And by shattered visage, it's kind of a euphemism for a busted up face in the sand because the statue had fallen into such disrepair. And on that face is a frown, a wrinkled lip, and a sneer of cold command. It sounds like Dick Cheney. The statue is described as lifeless. It's in an annihilated place, boundless and bare. And while the statue speaks, well, figuratively, it's in a place of complete silence, a place where no one can hear it. I think that Ozymandias is an important cautionary tale. One that reminds readers that an attempt to transcend time can in and of itself be a counter-constructive time sink. Life is now. Live it, love it, and make something of it. Also, don't let fear or obsession over your legacy be the reason that you have a negative one or don't have one at all. But hey, that's just the opinion of some guy on the internet, and poetry is very subjective. So what did you get out of Ozymandias? Do you agree with my assessment, or did you get something out of it completely different? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you next time, my fellow poetry lovers.